one of the very first committees, the very first committee hearing of this Congress, Mr. Gaetz, after we had all agreed on what the committee's plan was going to be, it was going to be voice voted, everyone agreed, Mr. Gaetz wanted to offer an amendment to say the Pledge of Allegiance. That's great. Every single person on our side supported that. Now, I don't think he really genuinely cares about saying the Pledge of Allegiance, but he wanted to do it, again, to own the libs and to see if we would vote against it. We didn't. But who did he bring in here to say the Pledge of Allegiance? Who did he parade in here in a uniform? Corey Beekman. Corey Beekman in 2019 was in a standoff with the Michigan police after he was arrested and charged with murder, assault with intent to commit murder, and 2 counts of felony firearm possession. The family of the victims said Mr. Gaetz doing that, it was like getting a dagger stuck in our heart again. That's why there's a trust deficit here. You pull off a public stunt to try and own the libs, and what you did was you brought in a guy who allegedly shot 2 people and killed one of them.
Here's Eric Swalwell calling out Matt Gaetz, because as you guys can tell in Congress, after Republicans had that slight majority after they campaigned on fixing everyone's lives, because the inflation issues, the way they're coming for your children, the way they're coming for your religion, they're coming for everything. They're debating about the Pledge of Allegiance. And apparently since they have that, that was a gimme for them to start all these hearings with the pledge. The problem is Matt Gaetz brought in this guy who apparently shot 2 folks. That's the guy who's reading the pledge for them because they just want to show how patriotic they really are. There he is. He was accused of that, and we'll talk about how he got off from that. But there's an ironic part about how this whole thing even led up, because Representative McClintock was talking about how they're trying to get someone in there, and he goes, "It's not like we're crazy. We're not bringing in someone who committed murder." No lie, he said that. Watch.
I think we should all agree no one who has participated in insurrection should lead the Judiciary Committee in the Pledge of Allegiance. So it shouldn't be complicated to accept this amendment.
Nobody who committed murder is going to be.
Well, then you should vote for the amendment.
Well, again, not legally, because he was then let off the hook, of course. A little info on that. Corey Beekman was charged with killing Billy Buchanan back in April of 2019, but the charges were dropped after a key witness refused to testify. Beekman has since moved to Florida and was invited to DC by Matt Gaetz, where he led the House Judiciary Committee in that Pledge of Allegiance. He was recognized for his time serving in the Army National Guard. And I think is also, Swalwell pointed out, the family was devastated by this of Buchanan, who was then killed. And she said it was like a knife to the heart of our family. We were infuriated when we first saw it. It was devastating to know that somebody with this hanging over their head was being praised as a veteran, a hero. It's like they didn't know who they were inviting into those halls. But still, I guess to his credit, Matt Gaetz said, "My bad, bro." He said that when a veteran contacts his office, our first thoughts aren't, "Let's run a background check," or quote, "I wonder if this person had any run-ins with the law that might make someone else look bad." I have a good idea, Matt. Modify that approach and maybe start. Or how about not even a background check? Because I think what many other folks did was they typed his name into the Google bar, and then all this stuff came up. I guess they figure anybody that comes in that's an Army vet is on the up and up. This is how this works, Waz. This is the approach that many of these folks wanted once they got into office, to go through these proceedings and say, look how much better we are, vote for us again. Nothing about actually helping Americans. Matter of fact, when they do some kind of work, it is definitely about destroying more folks' lives.
Yeah, Matt Gaetz is clearly a freaking clown. Just the idea that he would try to pull this stunt, and like what counts as grown-up people in the Republican Congress, they indulged him and then they got burned for it. Nobody should be surprised by that. But this goes back to what we said in the first segment, JR. This is the Republican Party as it stands right now, and this is what counts for governance. That's the crazy part about this, right? Like Matt Gaetz, I'll say this, it's nice to have dumber enemies, because Mitch McConnell, he is not, right? Like when you think about Mitch McConnell, And we could take it back to the Obama era where he's just telling Obama to take a long walk. I don't care about your Supreme Court justice nominees. I don't care about 100 years of precedents. I'm gonna screw you. I'm gonna knife you right in the throat and move on with my life. We're talking about just diabolical political maneuverings. Matt Gaetz is inviting guys who shot a guy to sing the freaking national anthem so he can look like he loves America more. Like, this is pathetic.
It's not the only pathetic thing. Really fast, I'm gonna squeeze this part in because this was a couple weeks ago when he started with the pledge, but just as they're doing their next hearing, the hearing that they were doing as of yesterday, they also they had issues with whether or not this whole back and forth exchange that Matt Gaetz thought he had a gotcha moment for about, again, his sourcing problem. Let's watch this.
Is the Azov battalion getting access to US weapons?
Not that I'm aware of, but if you have information,
I seek unanimous consent to enter into the record the Global Times investigative report that that talks about training. It's from the Atlantic Council's Digital Forensics Research Lab, citing that the Azov battalion was even getting stuff as far back as 2018.
Without objection, so ordered.
Any reason to disagree with that assessment, Dr.
Is this the, I'm sorry, is this the Global Times from China?
No, this is,
That's what you read.
yeah, it might be. Yeah, would that be a reason?
As a general matter, I don't take Beijing's propaganda.
Well, no,
at
yeah,
face
but just tell me
value.
if the allegation is true or false. I mean,
I don't have any evidence one way or the other. As a general matter, I don't take Beijing's propaganda at face value.
fair enough. I would agree with that assessment.
Fair. That's fair enough. Hey, would you take maybe this this BS acknowledgement that I gave? Would you confirm or deny that? He goes, I don't know. It's your stuff, bro. So apparently he was trying to land him on the Azov battalion. It's a controversial far right battalion within Ukraine. He's like, are they getting our money? He goes, well, bro, who are you citing saying that they are? Not to my knowledge. He goes, oh, my bad. I was citing Chinese propaganda net papers and publications. That's
you know what's crazy, JR, is like generally speaking, I do think we need to question all the funding we give to military and war efforts. 100%.
I agree.
People in Congress should be doing that. But again, even like you want to make Matt Gaetz your ally in that, like good luck. Holy moly, man.
Do it for real. I mean, if this is the last thing, I'm sorry, we're way over. But yo, if you've got an issue, claim it for real. If you don't, find one then. Don't make them up. All it does is make folks who don't trust you go, okay, that's solidifying why I don't trust these folks, because they literally have nothing legitimate to say. It's all lies.
And I'm not somebody who's like, oh, we need to discredit everything that's ever come out of China from now and heretofore, right? Like, I don't buy the red baiting nonsense that we're doing with China either. At the same time, we know that they put out state-run propaganda. Like, it's a known fact. These Hollywood people can't even put a movie out until they get, absolutely everything okayed by the CCP, right? And so, like, we know that they care about media and messaging. This is not like conspiracy, right? This is what they do. So, like, Matt Gaetz not understanding this is just, it's unbelievable.
Maybe it's just subconscious because this publication is considered the Fox News of China. So I guess it's all comfortable.